Okay, so these were the 3 problems you were supposed to practice on your own, and you should have uploaded your first attempt at these 3 problems into the Google Classroom under the practice portion. If you have not done that yet, you need to do so now if you want credit, because then you have to re-upload to show me anything you had to change or if you got them right. So if you haven't yet uploaded your first attempt at these problems without watching this video, you need to upload that first. It could be a picture, it could be a video of you doing it. However you choose, you could print this out right on here, re-upload it, but I want your first attempt uploaded into practice. So if it's not there yet, do that now, and then continue watching this video. So I'm going to go to a new page. I'm going to do our first fraction, which was 10 over 12. So the first thing you should have done is you should have started looking for that GCF that we've talked about, that greatest common factor. So you probably made a T-chart for 10 and 12. Then you should have listed your factors. So I can do 1 and 10, and then 2 and 5, nothing times 3, nothing times 4, and then I'd be back at 5, so I can stop. Then I need to do the same for 12, so I do 1 and 12, 2 and 6, and 3 and 4, and then I'd be back at 4, so I can stop. Then I'm moving on to looking at which ones they have in common. So I would find 1, 2, and then I'm just checking 10, nope, 5, nope. So only 1 and 2 are the ones they have in common, and then I find which one's the greatest or biggest out of 1 and 2, which 2 obviously is. So my GCF is 2. So if you did not get 2 as your GCF, then we probably already have a problem. So from there, I'm going to turn my page. We have 10 over 12, and then your GCF is 2. If you did not find 2 as the GCF, hopefully now you understand why it is the GCF. So then I'm going to divide by my GCF, or my greatest common factor. Both need to be divided, numerator and denominator, by the same. 10 divided by 2 is 5, and 12 divided by 2 is 6. So 5/6 should have been your answer to that first problem. If it's not, now is the time to go back, correct it, so I can see your corrections you made, and then at the end of this video you're going to upload anything you had to correct. If you got them all right, you can put stars by them, but show me that you went and made sure you had all the steps and you got the correct answer. Alright, so our next problem you had was 12 over 24. Okay, and so I had to find my GCF, so I had to do 12 and 24. Let me write GCF down here so I don't forget. And then I'm going to list all those factors. So we've done 12 a lot. So 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4. And then for 24, I would do 1 and 24, 2 and 12, 3 and 8, 4 and 6. Nothing with 5, and then I'm back at 6. So this could have caused you a problem if you struggle with your factors or your multiplication facts. If you missed any, sometimes that will cause you a problem in your fraction, while simplified, will not be simplified to its smallest form. So then we're going to look for in common. So I obviously have 1, and I have 2 again. I also see 3, and 4, and 6, and 12. There's a lot that they have in common, 12 and 24. So I'm going to make sure, double check one more time. 24, nope. 8, nope. So then I'm going to the greatest. And the greatest I see out of all these would be 12. So my GCF here is 12. Okay. So we have 12 over 24 with a GCF, greatest common factor, of 12. Then we move on to our last step, which is dividing by the greatest common factor of 12. 12 divided by 12 should have given you 1. 24 divided by 12 is 2. So your final answer here for problem 2 should have been 1/2. If not, now you can go back and make those corrections because you should have been following along and checking your work as you were watching the video. All right, and then our very last practice problem you had was 5 over 20. So we did 5, we did 20, and we can write GCF up here. First thing is all the factors, so 1 and 5, and that's it for 5. It's a prime number, which means you can only multiply by itself in 1. And then I have 1 and 20, 2 and 10, nothing by 3, and then 4 and 5. So those are all the factors. Then I'm moving on to the common ones. So I see they have 1 in common, and they have 5 in common. So this one's pretty easy to figure out which one's the greatest. It would be 5. So our greatest common factor here is 5. So I'm going to turn the page. Actually, I think I have room to do this whole one on this page. Sometimes when you're doing math, you take up a lot of space. Always make sure you have room, because once you start squishing all your numbers together, things can get messed up and tricky. But I have room on this page, so I don't have to change it. So I'm dividing both by that greatest common factor of 5. 5 divided by 5 is 1. 20 divided by 5 is 4, which gives me my final answer of 1/4. So 5/20ths simplified would be 1/4, or 1 over 4. All right, and the last, and so now you have this video. I'll also upload a picture with the final answers just so you can see it. But then you need to upload your checked work. So if you had to go back and make corrections, I need you to upload that. I also know if you already got them all right originally, but please just go back and star them just so you watch the steps, made sure you do everything correctly, because I need to know that you actually went and checked your work, because I'm not going to let you know if they were all right or not until later. So that's all you need to do. Upload your work, and then you're going to go on to the show portion, and in the show portion you will be doing this for a grade. Well, they're all for grades, but your final grade will be worth more points because you are trying it completely on your own. So please watch these videos if you need to see a little bit more before you go and try the show problems for your final grade, so I know that you truly understand how to find the greatest common factor and then use that to simplify a fraction.